Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. I'm at my new location, so I don't have my wall filled up with the stuff. I haven't even decided how I'm going to put that together yet. But it's been a very busy weekend, moving back and forth from one office to the other. Don't worry if you've mailed information to the other location that I just moved another business into there, so we will get that mail if it hasn't hit the forwarding uh, uh, from the post office yet. So let's get into it with the questions. Uh, I want to do some question and answers real quick because these are some very good questions because I believe that these will help people. The first one here is a young lady is in court. She filed a complaint with the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau for debt validation, said that they didn't prove that she owes the debt, but all they keep doing is sending back bank statements. And now they put a subpoena for information from the civil lawsuit that they filed against her. And so let me tell you what you're doing wrong with that. Uh, you're doing good to fight. You always want to fight. But what's happening is you got the puzzle a little bit mixed up on what you got to do. When you're if you have a court summons, now they don't expect you to do this perfectly, but if you have a court summons, you have to respond to the debt validation in the summons, and they might try to send back bank statements, or they had bank statements from before when you did a debt validation. So you have to take it up a notch, and you have to make them prove, number one, you want the original contract. You want them to prove all of the charges. If it's a credit card, then they got to prove all of the charges. Now, if it's like a auto repo or something, then you're basically getting the original contract, and then you want to see if there was any insurances that was on there that would have paid the car off or paid payments on the car if you were to default on the loan. But if it's anything that's with credit card based, you want to get all of that information, and you want to make them prove their claim. Because if you look at it, they have a claimed amount that they're saying that you owe. They always send statements. It might be two or three statements that have a balance on there, but they do not show a complete accounting of that. And they can't get that complete accounting of that. And you have to kind of make them go back and forth. You got to get it into the judge's hands to let them know that you're not just disregarding it, that you are legitimately asking for stuff. And what ends up happening a lot of the times is that they know that they can't get it, and they'll start approaching you about doing the settlement. If you push it all the way to the max and you're taking a chance, it's always a 50-50 chance that you could win or lose if you go to court. But if you have everything in the plaintiff attorney's hands, you have everything in the judge's hand on what you're arguing, there's a chance that they could say you to the plaintiff attorney, you have not proved everything, and either come back with it, or I'm going to dismiss this case. And then if you've given them time to get everything and they come to court and they say they need more time, then you need to ask to have it dismissed with prejudice so they can't bring it back. A lot of times they'll try to say, well, we want to get it dismissed without prejudice so they can try to sell it to someone else or try to come back at a later date, because what they depend on is that you just get tired of fighting. That's with everything. Everybody just gets tired of fighting on stuff, so they're gonna hope to come back at you at a later date. But that was a very good question. Thank you for that. The next one is I'm getting sued by a debt collector that has a zero balance on my credit reports. They want $1,000. First thing you do, number one, is you check your state statute of limitations on the debt to make sure that you even have to pay this debt. Next thing is, if it's not past legal statute of limitation, you need to write to the original creditor and say, this account is paid off. You show zero on my credit reports. Why are you allowing a debt collector to come after me for this debt? Because it's hurting my credit. So the thing about it is that it says zero on your credit reports, but they're sending you a letter for $1,000, don't disregard that letter, because this is going to get sent to the bureaus if you don't respond to them, and then it's going to say that you owe $1,000 to a debt collector, and you're going to have to go through all of that paperwork and back and forth with the bureaus, with this debt collector to get that off. You need to immediately send them a certified letter stating that you do not owe that debt, that you dispute that you do not owe any of that debt. You need to stop this right away. All right, the next one here. Someone said they wanted some clarification. Should I send a debt validation letter to the original creditor that has the account listed as a charge off before I request the 1099-C? Now, there's a lot of misconceptions about, you can't make a creditor give you a 1099-C. If they're going to do it, they've already done it, and they're planning on doing it, and they're going to send that to the IRS, and the IRS is going to get that over to you, or they're going to send it to you stating that they also gave that to the IRS. So they're going to have that reported as additional income. You cannot make them do it. So with the debt, and then you said, should I send a debt validation letter to the original creditor that has the account listed as a charge off? What you do is you send a letter to the original creditor asking, do they still own that debt? And did they cancel the debt? Ask them, what did they do with the debt? Did they sell it? What did they do? You may find out that they did do a complete total write-off, and you have a 1099-C coming to you. Sometimes these 1099-Cs can take up to 6 to 8 months to get to you. Some people said it's taken a year because they don't have to send those out right away until they start sending out the W-2s for tax. All right, we got another question. Well, this was a statement. Someone said that if they're getting garnished, what they do is they leave their job. And I've seen people do that. With one of my companies that I have, I've had, some employees that as soon as they started getting garnished, they would actually leave, quit. I was like, man, what? Maybe it's better to try to work stuff out, but that's not up to me about that. People's decisions. All right, I think we're going to end the video here. This is a short video. I'm going to get back to making videos regularly very soon. We still got some stuff that we're working on here, and it's very busy. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different. That shows my 8-point validation process for repairing credit. Developed by me, it really does work. We go from the furniture side all the way from the furnishers on your reports to the bureaus and then the furnishers directly. We're really trying to get answers about why they want this information on your credit reports. Is there technicalities? Is there something that can be worked out? Because you want to be able to get it removed so you can move forward. There's a lot of things that are on people's reports that are, it could, yes, they may have had a negative account, but the way that it's showing on your reports is not, it has a technicality that does not allow it to be shown that way because it's totally unfair. It puts you into a unfair light with other creditors that might be looking at your credit reports. And this is all about data. If they're putting data on there, it has to be correct. It can't be false data. That'd be like someone spreading rumors about you at your job that's not true. It can make your boss look at you a certain way. Well, because people look at your credit, that your credit is speaking for you. So if there's things that are wrong, yes, those need to get taken care of. And we have options on that if it's working with creditors or debt collectors, if it gets to that point. But also there's technical reasons that things could be removed because it's making you look unfairly without someone being able to speak to you about why that's showing that certain way on your reports. But all of that is only done through a process. It's not something that's done overnight. It's not something that's done in 24 hours. It's something that's done in a process with a back and forth. Just like if you were doing anything, trying to work out something with someone right in front of you, You're going to say something, they're going to say something back. And you have to figure out where you're going to be at if you end up meeting in the middle or if one of you end up winning that argument. That's what this is about, but it's just done with paper. It's required that way. You can't just call and argue it. Next thing, if you need your credit reports and scores, please go to the website your3scores.com. And if you have debt collectors coming after you, you need to get my 3-pack of letters. Use the one that pertains to your situation, the statute of limitations letter, debt validation letter, or the cease and desist collection activities letter. Statute of limitations is when you look to see if a debt is past the legal statute of limitations from the charge-off date for your state on legally being able to collect it. You don't need to do a debt validation. You just send that letter notifying them that they cannot legally come after you for that debt. Watch out for the words like time barred and this and that. All that means is that it's past the legal statute of limitations. Next thing is if it's not past legal statute of limitations, send the cease and desist collection activities letter, because this takes it up a notch to make sure that they have all the documentation to come after you for that debt. Sometimes they will abide by it, sometimes they won't. But that's where the game starts. That's the back and forth. And if you do it the right way, you just keep responding to what they're doing and what they're not doing. Like if they're sending statements, but they're not sending everything that you need, you respond back and you keep making those requests, and you can end up making that debt go away. All right. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and founder of the CreditRepairShop.com.